Hello, hello. Tara here with Chapter 3 of The Bridge to Belle Island. Isabelle Wilder vaguely realized she was dreaming, but it seemed so real. In the dream, she was dressed in a flowing gown of red silk, the very gown Carlotta wore when she performed at the Theatre Royal. Wearing it, Isabelle felt beautiful as she floated down the stairs of their London townhouse, eager to join the party. Evan Curtis stood at the bottom of the stairs waiting for her, so dashing in his infantry uniform. He smiled up at her, blue eyes simmering with passion. Her heart raced. Uncle Percival must have changed his mind and invited him after all. In her hurry to descend, Isabelle tripped on the long gown and felt herself fly through the air. Slowly, weightlessly, she fell, her skirts a billowing curtain carried aloft by the breeze. Evan stretched out his hands, and she settled into his arms like a bird coming home to its nest. She wrapped one hand around his neck and rested the other on the lapel of his uniform. She tried to feel his heartbeat, but felt nothing. For a moment he cradled her close, and they gazed into one another's eyes. Then, abruptly, he dropped her. She landed hard on the stairs, the bottom step digging into her tailbone, her elbow smacking against the newel post. She yelped in pain, but no one came running to see what the matter was. She looked down the empty passage, confused by its silence. The guests should have been there by now. Where were Rose and the servants? And Uncle Percival? Percival. Isabelle wrinkled her nose. She doubted he would be mingling cheerfully among the guests. No, more likely he'd be sulking in his office, grumbling over the bills. Isabelle pulled herself up to her hands and knees and crawled the few feet to his office. Uncle Percy had taken over the morning room near the back door, where he could meet with tradesmen without their having to traipse through the whole house. Finding the door unlatched, she pushed it open, and an empty wine bottle on the floor went rolling away. Rising up on her knees, she looked inside the room and drew in a sharp breath. Uncle Percy sat slumped forward, head on the desk, arms sprawled across its surface, a pistol in hand, one eye open and unseeing, blood at his temple. Isabelle blinked and blinked again, trying to clear the gruesome image, but it stubbornly remained like a stain, a blood stain. Overwhelmed, her vision tunneled to blackness, and she crumpled to the floor. Isabelle awoke with an ice pick in the back of her skull. At least that was how it felt. She suppressed a groan, relieved to awaken and realize it had only been a dream, although the headache was real enough. Only a dream, she reassured herself again, yet the foul image clung to her and made her queasy. She was not in London, of course, but in her own bed on Belle Island, miles from the London townhouse which she had not visited in years. What a dream, so vivid and strange. How odd that she'd been wearing Carlotta's red gown, and she had not seen Evan Curtis in nearly a decade. Isabelle opened her eyes, but harsh shafts of daylight assaulted her, and she squeezed them shut again, the suppressed groan now escaping. "Mees?" Carlotta asked, and in her mild Spanish accent the words sounded like "Mees." "Are you awake?" "Mm-hmm," Isabelle murmured. "Doctor came by." That is not a Spanish accent, I'm sorry. "So early?" "Actually, it has just gone 1." Isabelle's eyes jolted wide. "In the afternoon?" Carlotta chuckled. "Yes." Isabelle tossed back her bedclothes. "Oh no, I wanted to be in the workshop this morning. The master weaver is due today." "I did try to wake you earlier, but you shooed me away. Don't worry, I talked to Mr. Linton for you." Isabelle rose stiffly from bed, thinking of their dour though capable foreman. "What did you tell him?" "I told him you were indisposed and asked him to greet the master weaver in your stead when he arrives. Apparently his coach is running late. Mr. Linton grumbled something about women's troubles, which I did not confirm or deny. Mrs. Philpotts and I served the midday meal, and the weavers are eating while they wait. Thank you, Lottie. You are a treasure. In most houses, ladies' maids were called by their surnames, but Carlotta Medina was not most maids. Lottie added, "The doctor went to see Abel and the Houghtons and will come back later." Good. Rubbing her elbow, Isabelle hurried to her dressing chest. She slipped into a fresh shift, while Carlotta brought over a pair of stays and stockings. "I feel terrible not being there on such an important day, especially when the weavers have given up part of their day off to meet him." "Don't punish yourself so." "I'm so sorry, I don't know Spanish accents," Carlotta said as she laced the stays. "You had a late night, and a rough one in the bargain." Isabelle pressed her throbbing temples. "Don't remind me." Last night, the evening of her dear niece's betrothal dinner, and Isabelle had not been there. She had foolishly attempted to drown her sorrows, and today was paying the price. As Carlotta helped her dress, a cherished memory returned to Isabelle, of crossing the island bridge with her parents to attend her sister's wedding in the village church, surrounded by friends and neighbors. After the service, they had all walked home together for the wedding breakfast, happy and laughing, and simply relishing in one another's company. Oh, what she would give to relive that memory, to see Rose married in the village church among their friends and neighbors, and then welcome them all back to Belle Island for a joy-filled wedding breakfast. But that dream, Isabelle feared, was forever out of reach. So that was a short chapter. Interesting vision dream that she had.